Hiya. Today is the day that I am no longer vegetarian. And if you told me 2 years ago that I'll be making this video, I would not believe you. I wanted to be vegetarian and go vegan for the rest of my life. When I first started, I was really proud and happy about it. I approached it in the safest way possible. I tracked my diet, balanced it, took supplements, and lived a really healthy life in order to never need to eat meat again. So, in the following words, I'm going to explain to you, number 1, why I decided to go vegetarian. Number 2, how it felt for 2 years to be vegetarian, how was my health, how did I feel about it, and then finally number 3, why have I decided to no longer be vegetarian. Let's begin. So it was more or less 2 years ago when my partner Sonia and I were watching this documentary called Seaspiracy. By then I was already pescatarian, meaning that I no longer ate meat for a couple of years and I would only eat fish. Somehow in my mind I have created this selective empathy where I felt like fish and seafood is not as intelligent as other animals, and so I felt better about myself eating fish. And then the documentary came. For 90 minutes, it totally changed the way I saw that argument of fish not being as intelligent and not feeling, and the environmental issues that it brought. I cried like a little baby. And it was on that day, 2 years ago, when I decided to no longer eat fish. Let's go vegetarian. How did it feel? How was my life? Well, at first it felt amazing. I felt morally uplifted. I would no longer feel heavy in my stomach, and I would just be proud to be a part of community that believes in trying to make the world better. That is why I made some of these videos. I never really made the types of videos that you see that try to judge you for your choices or anything like that. But I would make these social experiment type videos where I would pretend that I eat dog meat and get people hate me in the comments, and then midway, well, this was actually vegan meat, and I just proved that selective empathy, how people can get totally crazy about someone eating a dog while they all eat meat. Anyway, that was the time when I was vegetarian and everything felt right. Then, fast forward to 1 year later. That's when we reach a turning point in this story, because I would start having some problems. Despite trying my best to stay healthy, to do fitness, and I could definitely define myself as a person who lives far above the average when it comes to health department, I would start having health problems. It started from my knees. I couldn't really go for longer runs because my knees would have this feeling like something's missing. I think that's the best way to say it. And mind you, I was really supplementing myself. I was very conscious about my diet. Then I said to myself, okay, I have to push stronger, push more at the gym. If I can't do cardio, if I can't run, let me lift higher, heavier weights. I would do exercises, and from the knees I would start feeling pain in my wrists. It was very irritating because at that point I wanted to exceed my own personal expectations in most areas of my life. I was very ambitious about things and goals, and here I was, a healthy, a way above average healthy man who really takes this vegetarian world as a serious objective, starts having health issues. A few more months have passed and I go to have some tests. And when I got these blood tests, my heart dropped, because health is a very important aspect to me. I want to have a high quality, happy life. And there I was, reading that I had eight things out of norm. Not massively out of norm, but they were out of norm. A healthy guy having health problems. How comes? It was back then when the thought came to my mind. Maybe my body is not cut for this. Maybe I am not supposed to be vegetarian. And so, at first I came back to fish. For the first few weeks I had absolute disaster with eating fish. My stomach was manifesting anger at me. But I pushed through. And a few months later, I stopped having any problems with my knees, with my wrists. My health got better than it was in the middle of vegetarianism. And ever since then, I also came back to meat, realizing that my body needs it. And so I'm making this video because I wanted to let you know that I am no longer vegetarian because it is not good for my biology, for my genetics, for my specific case. And I wanted to really make sure that you don't get discouraged from doing that, from going vegetarian. Because if I was cut for this, if my biology allowed me, I would definitely remain vegetarian. Life was better at first when my body was not manifesting against it. So I definitely want to make sure that you guys don't get discouraged, but at the same time, I want to make this video as an ex-vegetarian to really open the eyes of the people who shove the ideology into other people and say, oh, if you eat meat, you are a bad person. First of all, let's remember that economically, vegetarianism is not for everyone. Depending which country you live in, being vegetarian is like twice as expensive as eating meat. So it is ignorant to shove this ideology in people's faces globally while not realizing that some people simply cannot be vegetarian because they cannot afford it. And you cannot say to someone that they are a bad person because they don't have enough money to afford the vegetarian lifestyle, where you have to supplement yourself, where you have to consciously approach this, because sooner or later your body will manifest against it. And that is exactly the second reason why we should not be shoving this ideology, because biologically we are all different. I wish my body was happy when I only eat vegan food, but it's not. Project Nightfall has always been an honest platform, and you guys deserve to know that I can no longer be vegetarian.